Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another Rin Reviews. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the brand new Karate Kid Legends movie. Going into this movie, I wasn't really expecting a whole lot. I wasn't expecting it to be like insanely good or anything, but it was better than I expected it to be. Overall, I'd give this a solid like 8.5 out of 10. One of my favorite parts about this movie was the cinematography and the scenery. Like the filming just looked very cool. It was very visually appealing. The fight scenes were also very well coordinated. There's a whole fight scene in this alley, which we saw part of in the trailer, and that entire fight scene was choreographed very well, looked very good. The camera angles and switching between different viewpoints and everything during that fight just looked really, really cool. There's also a whole like sort of fight scene between Jackie Chan's character and Ben Wong's character, where Jackie Chan, who's his uncle, kind of pretends to be someone who broke into the house. And that was also a very well choreographed fight. I think the thing that made the choreography of the fights so good, in my opinion, was how Ben Wong's character constantly like jumps between and like avoids stuff. Like I think his dodging just looks very visually appealing and looks very cool for a fight. One of the other main things I was kind of worried about going into this movie was that Jackie Chan's character and obviously Ralph Macchio, Daniel LaRusso would have kind of stolen the spotlight away from Ben Wong, who is supposed to be the new Karate Kid and everything, but they did a really good job at keeping them as like side character mentors and not showing too much of either of them to where it kind of felt like they were stealing the spotlight. And the same thing also went for all the other side characters in the movie. Like there's a character named Mia and then her dad Victor, and they have their own kind of stories, and we see a bit of them where they play a major role in progressing the story, but they never steal the spotlight away, which I think is great and is exactly what you should do for a movie, especially like this, where the supporting characters are so important to the story of the main character. And Ben Wong's acting is very good in this movie. I don't think I've really seen him in anything else that I can think of off the top of my head, but he did a very good job at this, and I think he fits the role of being the new Karate Kid very well. Another thing I thought was really cool that they did at the very beginning of the movie was there's a whole shot where the camera kind of goes through this kung fu school that Jackie Chan's character owns, and they're speaking in Mandarin, and it has the actual Mandarin like writing pop up next to the people that are speaking, and then it has the English popped on top of it. And I just thought that kind of visual effect was really cool. But then they did kind of like not do that for the rest of the movie, which I do understand because those were just kind of like small, quick, like couple word lines that they did that for. And then there's obviously a bunch of other lines where they speak like full sentences and full lines in Mandarin. So it wouldn't really make sense to have that kind of effect for that. So I do understand why they didn't do it again. But I do think it was a really cool effect that I really enjoyed and honestly made me want to do that in like a film that I make if I ever make a film with a foreign language in it, because I thought the way that it was done just looked really cool. My main issue with the movie though was the story. It did feel at certain parts like it was super super rushed, and that it wasn't fully planned out properly, especially near the end. It being rushed felt more prominent than the whole rest of the movie, because it kind of just goes through the tournament and it just very briefly shows like each fight of the tournament, which I understand why, but I still think there was a way to showcase it without rushing it in the way that it was rushed. And for this being such a short movie, it was only like an hour and a half long movie. Just being an hour and a half, they could have added a bit more time to the movie and kind of stretched out that last tournament ending stuff so that it fit better with the story and so it didn't seem as rushed. But the acting was good, the fight scenes were good, it looked visually appealing, and the characters had really good dynamics between each other. Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio fed off each other's energy, and I really liked the way they interacted and kind of like fought because one of them is kung fu, the other one's karate, and they kind of like fought over which one's a better way to block and things like that in certain scenes. And I just thought that was really funny and a really good dynamic. Overall, if you liked Cobra Kai or the original Karate Kid movies, I would suggest you watch this one. I do think it was better than a couple of the previous Karate Kid movies. One of the better Karate Kid movies, in my opinion. But with all that said, I will see you guys in the next video.
2 branches, 1 tree.